Hi, Groomies. I'm Felicity.
And I'm Ravi. We are the host of
The Groom and Tonic Book Club. We're a book club for people who love to read thrillers,
but hate to leave the house.
Today's book club pick is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. So if you haven't read it yet, no worries. Come along for the ride, but there will be spoilers.
Just a quick disclaimer, we will be laughing, joking, and potentially spiraling. But we do recognize the heavier the themes and treat them with the respect they deserve. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. Hello, Ravi.
Hey, all right.
Hey.
Hey, what?
I said hello, Ravi.
Hey.
Hey.
Is that my voice? Is my voice naturally so deep? Not really.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, like a man.
I am a man. What was the other man thing that I did the last time? I don't even remember.
All the sneezing and coughing.
Yeah.
What are we drinking? I brought the gin today.
Yes, no idea. Some raspberry thing from a gin tasting banter.
We went to a gin tasting last week.
Yes.
Where we got a little bit silly.
Flick got
a little silly. I got a bit silly. And we bought a bottle of the gin. So it is Amberchess. It's a local distillery here in WA, and this is the raspberry, so made with Australian raspberries.
It was one of the better ones because we had the lemon, we had orange.
Yeah, I didn't like the orange so much.
That was
the elderflower.
An elderflower.
That was nice.
Yeah. But we thought the raspberry was the best one.
So we've just mixed it with a little tonic. We've just gone classic.
Yeah.
A classic G&T with a raspberry twist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're drinking. Anyway, how you going, Ravi?
Good. What's new with me? I think 2 weekends ago, I went to the Crown for a quick staycation. And when we were in one of the restaurants there, I'm fairly certain I saw like a sugar daddy, sugar girly? Is that what it is?
Sugar baby.
Sugar baby scenario. So there was this like older man with this like barely 18-year-old.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. I initially thought it was father and
she's
daughter.
She's just like very fresh. Maybe she just looks young.
Okay. No.
All right.
Yeah. Like,
each to their own.
I didn't think, that'd be, like, you can tell, right, when someone's, like, really young or someone just, like, barely a day over 18.
Yeah.
That scenario.
I heard a speech by Natalie Portman during the week. I think it's an older one where she was talking about her when she was younger and she was, like, 14 and the media counting down until she became 18. It's just disgusting. Some people are gross.
No, but that's the same thing with Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
She was so good in Stranger Things. And then everyone was just waiting for her to turn 18 so they could sexualize her even more in the media.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. But yeah, initially I thought maybe potentially father-daughter scenario because she was constantly on her phone. But then when they got up to go, like, he was, the way he touched her to go out.
Yeah, he bit handsy.
Yeah, a bit handsy. Not so much, not that much in public where he was touching her booba butt or anything. But it was just booba butt. But it was just the way he touched her. It was a bit more than a father-daughter relationship.
I mean, consenting adults, you do you, but
And then I saw another weird lady. I've just written everything. I hope you didn't read
lady.
it. This is like fucking a mess. I just writing down what she was. It's just like this hippie lady who just like, and there were so many empty seats in the Crown Lounge. And then, so she came and sat beside me, my husband, and there was this another couple nestled right between us. She got onto a phone call, started video calling a friend of hers, and was like so loud. And this was in the morning when we were having our coffee. Okay, not morning, it was like 12 p.m. But still,
here's your morning coffee.
Yes.
Admit it. You just woken up.
Yeah, exactly, like an hour ago. And then she was just like being so loud on the phone, like completely insane things. So she was just talking about her third eye, her chakras, and how
she was talking to her friend?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
on the phone, yeah. And then at one point she started singing like loudly. And then like everyone in the Crown Metropole lounge was like turned and looked at her. And then this one like lady, and I
She
think
sounds fun, to be honest.
she was she was whacker. And then she was what was at
Out
what
of her
point she was
mind.
like, and then she was like, oh, these spells and these warlocks, they're not going to work on me. With my third eye, I can see. And because this warlock came into my house and I was trying to get rid of him, he was trying to infiltrate my third eye. And because of that, I could see all my ancestors dancing around me. I'm like, that's
All
not
right.
fun, babe. That's a bit creepy.
It's creepy.
Yeah, and then
What a world she lives in.
and then there's this like Italian couple who they were just taking videos. It looked like they were here on a holiday or something. Taking videos and photos of themselves, not her. And then she got so paranoid that they were taking photos and videos of her, and she was telling her friend, these fucking Italians, they think they are so hot, taking a full video of me, but nobody can get me down. And she started singing that nobody can get her down.
Get out of here, ladies.
So it was
Really relaxing holidays.
it
for
was
you.
yeah. I got vouchers for Crown. Not that I could afford to stay
okay.
otherwise.
No,
Just wanted to clear that up.
Baller over here.
What's been going on with you?
I have nothing.
Quite sad.
It's quite sad, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean our professional career.
I'm just a professional lady
You
doing my
are.
professional things and a mama looking after my kids.
Yeah.
But something happened to me today. So I just took my kids to a play center, which is just another level of hell. But they were just desperate to go after school. So I was like, I've got 45 minutes. I'll take them. Right.
Yeah.
And there was just one other family there and they just had a shit kid. Sometimes there's just a shit kid.
Yeah.
They had a shit kid. And my kids are really playful and they'll play with anyone, especially my youngest.
Oh,
and she was like, Mum,
she's
come
the
and
best.
Yeah, she's the best. She was like, Mum, I've made a new friend. And she had a teddy with her. She goes, Mum, I've made a new friend. Friend comes up. She goes, oh, I like your teddy. Can I have a look at your teddy? And is very generous. Was like, yeah, you can play with my teddy. My teddy loves to fly and blah, 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 blah. And then the girl just like took off with the teddy.
Bitch, come back.
Bitch, come back. And I like got up and like my poor girl's just crying her eyes out. I got up and I was like, you give her teddy back.
Yeah.
You do it right. Go and get that kid and get her.
Get your own fucking teddy.
And then that kid went up to my other daughter and was like called her ugly to her face. Isn't that so rude? And she like came over and she was not crying, but she was so down. And so I'm going to bring this back to this story that we read. I get it. I'm not saying that
Killings? You get the killings.
I'm not saying that I plotted a murder revenge plan for my daughter's bully, but I consider
you get it.
I get it.
That's so fucking
So
rude.
rude.
Where was her mum?
Chilling.
And she heard all of that and
she
didn't do
doesn't
anything.
care, no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just a bad kid.
That's such a bad kid. Oh. Oh. No, your kids are the best.
No, and they were so sad. I hate it when my kids are sad.
Oh,
Anyway, they're all good
sad.
now.
I'm sad now. I'll give you some treats to send them with.
Okay.
To send them. I don't know what kind of treats I have, but I'll send some treats.
Yeah, like I only have gin.
No, I have some like
Tonic and lime.
matcha, like the Japanese biscuits. I still have them. The matcha, the chocolate. I don't know if they will like them.
I don't know.
I'll send something. I'll send something for your kids. All right. They
They've
will
had a rough
hopefully
day.
hopefully cheer them up.
Yeah.
Because they had a hard day.
A hard day. Let's get into this book. His and Hers, Alice Feeney. This is our third Alice Feeney book. And she's good, but I've had enough of her.
Yeah, I think we're done.
I think we're done.
No more Alice Feeney. I think we did 3 in a relatively short span of time.
Yeah. And
So-
I've done another one by her.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Like on my own. And I'm just had enough.
Yeah.
Her next book does sound good, but
Not for
wait.
a while.
I'll wait. Yeah.
Not for a while, yeah. I think it's also because now we are so in tune or like to her style of writing. Then we are just like we are expecting what she usually does, which is the different types of narrative.
Yeah, or the
Weird last chapter.
weird last chapter. Also, the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
So I was expecting one of the his or the hers to not be who we thought it was, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm onto her game.
Yeah, exactly. At the beginning, I was just like, I don't trust this chick. I don't trust this guy. What if it's a different timeline altogether?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened in the last two books
Yeah.
that we read, or the ones that we've read together at least, that the timelines were completely different. And I was like, you know what? I'm on to you.
I'm onto you.
But then it wasn't.
Kind of didn't happen. But anyway.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this one had a nonsense chapter at the end?
I didn't really think it was too nonsensical. I think it tied everything up quite nicely.
There's only one, maybe two things that I'm unsure of in the end. And it's probably just because I feel like I skimmed it at the end.
Yeah.
So maybe you can clear it up for me. But there were two things that I was confused by at the end. We'll get into it.
Okay.
And what else? I don't know. She does a good twist.
She does do a good twist. Like her story development was quite good.
Yeah.
Like I understood the reasons behind. Well, yes. Okay, right. I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. I understand why someone would want this group of girls dead, and this group, those three who actually died.
Yeah, and now that my kids have been bullied, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, we get it, right? But at the same time,
We're
with the
not back to the
person
children.
who did it and their motivations,
Weird, confusing. Yeah.
very confusing.
I actually thought if it was going to be one of the parents, it would have been Catherine's parent.
Catherine's parents, yeah.
Not Anna's.
Or Catherine's husband.
Yeah.
Somebody related to Catherine.
Yeah.
That poor girl. Oh my God. Fucking made me so sad. Anyways, all right.
Anyway, all right. Let's. I have a plot summary.
Yes.
For us.
It's very different to my plot summary I did the last episode.
We do it different.
We do it very different. I am long-winded and you are to the point.
To the point.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike this book.
Unlike all of Alice Feeney's books.
All right, let's get into it. Okay, the story follows Anna Andrews, a BBC News presenter who is reluctantly sent to cover a murder in her hometown of Blackdown, and Jack Harper, who is a detective assigned to the case. Jack is also Anna's ex-husband. And on a side note, they had a baby girl who passed away named Charlotte, which is really rough for me because my daughter's name is Charlotte. Don't like that. But that's specific for me. The victim turns out to be Rachel Hopkins, who is Anna's former best friend / abuser from secondary school. As the case unfolds, more women connected to Anna's past are murdered. So there's also Helen Wang, who was the high school principal, and she's also a drug addict apparently, and she got her throat cut, which was not good. And Zoe Harper, a freeloader and sadist. Sadist?
Yeah.
Animal abuser?
Yeah.
Who was...
That's basically a sadist.
Okay. Who was Jack's sister, and she had her wrist cut and her eyes got sewn shut in the bath. It was disgusting. Each chapter alternates between his, Jack's, and hers, Anna's perspectives, and a third anonymous narrator, who is the killer, who gives chilling insights into their thoughts and hides their identity. The killer also seems to be fucking with Jack pretty hard, so like leaving clues and fingernails in the car, leaving underwear in the back seat, just like really setting him up.
The phone.
Yeah, setting him up to look like the killer.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job of that. The last half of the book highlighted what a complete demon asshole Rachel was.
Fucking hated her.
Yeah, so she was the ringleader in their group, and I think they're like 15, 16 years old when they were doing the flashbacks. And she didn't just bully people, but she orchestrated a gang rape in the woods, which included a girl by the name of Catherine. And in one of the most confusing twists, it turned out that Catherine was also Anna's co-worker, but somehow she didn't know.
That it was her.
Yeah. Ultimate glow up. she had, apparently.
Well, she was portrayed to be rather ugly.
Oh, what?
Like-
Yeah, true. They're like, she's got white hair.
White hair, no eyebrows.
Oh, she pulled out all of her eyebrows. Poor
And she
girl.
had knots. Couldn't even comb her hair because her knots were so bad.
Catherine had it rough. Oh, and also, Anna slept with Catherine's husband.
Yeah.
Ay. Problematic. Poor Catherine. There was a big old shootout, and it led us to think that Catherine was the killer who'd planned this whole revenge plot against her childhood bullies. During the shootout, Priya kills Catherine. So Priya is the detective that's working with Jack. And I think also somehow Priya shoots Jack.
Yeah. Through the shoulder.
Yeah, why not? Catherine's husband got his skull bashed in and he was stabbed. And Priya was convinced that Jack was the murderer. There was a lot going on.
It was it was all very condensed.
It was very condensed.
in the 3 chapters.
And I was tired. I skimmed this bit and I was very confused. There was also a B story where Anna's mum had killed like her husband and his dad. So everyone's just killing everyone right now. All right, let's get to the ending. And this is classic Alice Feeney. So it was all looking like that Catherine was the killer, but it wasn't. It was actually Anna's mum. And her motive is to get revenge on Anna's childhood bullies. And then she wanted to set up Jack to take the fall because their marriage had failed.
And he slept
and he was
with
sleeping with Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah. I don't think he had an affair with Rachel. I think he just...
No, he was just sleeping with her.
Yeah.
And I think Rachel knew that he was previously married to Anna.
Yeah.
She definitely would have known through Zoe at the very least, because the
For
three of
sure.
them were in contact.
It's not the worst thing Rachel's done.
No.
And she also got revenge on Catherine because she wanted Anna on the news again. And then apparently Anna was in on the whole plot as well. It was very confusing in the end. I got lost.
The one thing, so we know that the mum was the killer. The one thing that was super confusing for me was how much was actually written in this letter. So the mum found out because she found a suicide note that
when she was a child, she tried to burn this, and she wrote this suicide letter, and she detailed what had happened to her in the woods.
Yeah.
In this gang rape situation that Rachel had orchestrated. And then she went to go and burn the letter, but didn't properly burn. And her mum found it many years later.
Yeah.
And then plotted this revenge, right?
Exactly. But I'm just like, how much was written in this suicide note? Was it like pages and pages detailing what actually had happened?
Yeah, it was a burn book.
It was... it was just impractical.
Well, she wasn't in her right mind.
But if she had told me that if there was a diary that she found, that would have made so much
That would make
more
way
sense.
more sense.
Yeah.
That's a simple switch.
Yeah, instead of like a fucking stupid suicide note that's going to be 3 pages. Oh, I'm killing myself, mum, because this happened. Yeah. Don't blame yourself.
Blame Rachel.
Blame Rachel.
And Zoe.
And Helen. And
Catherine for some reason.
Oh, poor
Catherine, the actual victim here.
Catherine. Out of everybody, Catherine was the victim.
Yes.
And they just killed that poor girl like she was nothing.
Yeah.
That made me
But
fucking
also, like,
furious.
So, all right, maybe we'll get into it. Let's get into poor Catherine.
Okay, Catherine.
So let's talk about all the terrible things that happened to Catherine before this. So first of all, she was bullied heavily.
Yes.
They peed in a drink for her to drink. They're so rude. And then they just verbally quite abusive and whatnot to her.
Yeah. Because she was quote unquote
not super attractive.
Not super attractive because she used to pull out her eyebrows.
She's stressed.
But that's because her sister had died.
Yeah. She's had it rough. Oh, that's not even on the list.
Yeah, and her sister had died from a boating accident that her parents blamed themselves for because she had an asthma attack on the boat.
Shit. Catherine. All right. So her sister died. She was heavily bullied. Her mental health must have been very low.
Yeah.
Very,
She couldn't even comb her hair, poor girl.
Yeah. She was gang raped in the woods. And it was all planned for by Rachel, who profited from this. Like, she sold them.
She did sell them.
Yeah.
She was like, take their virginities.
Take it. Yeah, just...
Take it. And
she was the worst. And then as an adult, her husband cheated on her, which in the scheme of things is quite low now.
It's quite low, but with somebody that has such...
With someone that was involved in that whole thing.
Yeah.
Anna was the worst. Anna did not orchestrate it, but also she watched it happen and did nothing. And if this isn't bad enough, like at this point, if it was like she was the killer, I'd be like, girl, I get it.
Yeah. You know what? Life has been quite tough for you.
Yeah, you've seen some shit. A lot of bad things have happened to you, and now you want to get revenge.
It's understandable.
Yeah,
really understandable.
But then she gets blackmailed with the photos that were taken.
From a rape.
Yeah.
From all these years ago.
So
from the
Anna's
gang
mum
rape.
is like, I've got these photos.
From,
I'm going to
Rachel's
show
house.
Your employer.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to know.
Your husband, I'm going to show your kids.
yeah.
I'm going to show everybody.
So get here. And so she goes there. Then her kids get stolen during the night. And then her husband gets killed. I actually don't know if he gets actual killed or if he just gets... He dies, doesn't
No, he dies. Yeah.
I just remember Anna saying that he's... No,
No, so
Jack,
he was alive.
Yeah.
And then he was like, get out to her.
And
then he succumbed to his death.
So cheating husband died.
But then he didn't
then she
want to
was
cheat
murdered.
with her and didn't want to cheat with Anna anymore because they had kids. And he was like, I'm going to be a good husband now.
All right then, sure. Okay.
And then she gets murdered.
And then she got murdered. And she was... Like, she had turned her life around. She was very successful in her chosen career. It sounds like she had an amazing glow up.
Yes.
She looked fabulous. And
With
she
her
just
velvety voice.
Oh, yeah. She's stunning.
Stunning.
Mature.
And she deserved it. After
deserved
the trauma and the bullshit of what she went through as a kid, if anybody deserved a glow up, success, and everything in life, it was Catherine.
Yeah.
But then that got snatched from her.
So she just led a terrible life.
She let such a fucking
Bad things happen to her.
And she was like, you didn't know me. You pretended you didn't know me. You slept with my husband to Anna. Why are you ruining my life? And then Priya was like, boom, you did, girl. And all for what? A career?
Yeah.
You could have just blackmailed her. I mean, don't blackmail anybody. But if Anna's mom was going to do something, blackmail her into leaving the BBC 1 o'clock news.
She's got a history of violence.
Oh, fuck me.
Let's talk about these characters. What did you think of Anna?
All right. So I initially thought she was really... You know how you like the wacky people usually in a book?
Yeah.
This is the first time I was just like...
She's a bit of fun.
She's a bit of fun. So she had her own breathalyzer because she's a raging alcoholic. She has like miniature bottles of like scotch and vodka and gin and whatever in her bag.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need some liquid courage and we'll just down the scotch in one shot at like 6 in the fucking morning. While she was drinking like 5 hours ago.
She was not well.
She was perpetually drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, she really held it together well though, didn't she?
She did. And I thought that was quite fun to read when she was just like...
My comment on Anna was, a real tequila in your Cheerios type. A bit of morning bebs.
She really was. I actually loved that about her. But she was also grieving. And she did not do well in her grieving process because her child died a cot death, which I'm not very familiar with what actually happens.
No.
So they went out for her birthday. Her husband's like, let your mum take care of our daughter. You deserve a night off. Our daughter is 3 months old. Let's go out, enjoy ourselves, you know, which... a reasonable thing to do for a new mum, right? Yeah. And then these poor fuckers came back and then like their kid was no longer there.
Yeah.
And instead of calling the ambulance, the grandma was just getting drunk, which did not help the case.
Oh my gosh.
It was just...
What's grandma's name? I don't even remember her name.
I actually don't know either. This is the first... No, I don't know. Yeah.
Don't know.
Anna's mom. Did they ever say that? Mrs. Andrews.
We'll just call her Mrs. Andrews. I
Mrs.
suppose.
Andrews. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought Anna was quite fun in that regard, where she was prepared.
You liked that she was drunk most of the time.
Yeah, I liked it.
You enjoyed her addiction.
Yeah, I enjoy reading her addiction.
Okay.
Just like just before she goes to work, she'll have some white wine in the fridge for breakfast, go to work, pop some mint, present, come home, close the curtains, and get drunk again.
God, that's sad.
It's a very sad but fun to read.
Yeah. She
But
had a
yeah,
very strange relationship with her mum.
I actually didn't understand this.
No, neither did I. I was expecting there to be something that happened,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it was.
Because the entire book, they were just like, she left home at 16
Yeah.
and never came back again. The relationship between mum and daughter was so strained, and it was just
Even the mum didn't know. She thought that it was because
of her.
Anna had found out that her mum had
Killed
her
her.
dad.
Oh yeah, sorry, killed her dad. Yeah. No, but then it was just because she was embarrassed that her mum was a cleaner.
Grow up.
Grow up. Your mum worked
Yeah, we do what we got to do.
off to send you to like a good school that as much as she could. You know, like I know sometimes teenagers can get a bit like ridiculous, and then they go, "Oh yeah, you've ruined my life. I hate you," kind of thing.
Also, 3-year-olds do that, from my experience.
Like, are you okay?
She does love me.
She does love you. She does love you. Well, she loves me too. I
Yeah.
have video evidence of that.
Lots of highs, lots of lows.
Oh, motherhood. But yeah, but then like nothing happened between the mother and daughter. So I understand her not wanting to come back to Blacktown because of what happened there.
Black down.
Is it Blacktown?
Black down.
Oops.
It's black down.
This book was quite a hard read.
It was. Nothing sunk in. What are we doing here?
Just having
So
a bit
sorry.
of fun.
So sorry.
But I didn't understand it. I was like, so what was your issue with
What
your
was the
mum?
issue? I think she just left the town,
Yeah.
and
Her mum bore the brunt of it because she was working all the time and didn't pick her up the one time it was raining.
Oh, well.
But then you went home and you saw your mum almost dying on the floor. Like child.
Yeah, so Anna was not the best.
No.
Jack was not the best.
Jack was such a fucking lunatic.
He had a great job.
That's what we want.
That's the kind of job that I want. He's not just a police officer detective. He's a major crimes, like captain or detective or whatever, in a town with no crime. I want that. Like, he gets woken up in the middle of the night and be like, someone's like, there's been a murder. And he's like, what the hell?
And he's like,
Now I have to work.
for the first time in 2 years. But he also hated the fact that he wasn't working. He was just a confused little weirdo.
He was.
He was
He had problematic relationships.
with women, and he was like, I'm a serial monogamous.
Okay.
But he didn't come across like that.
No, I don't know, yeah. I can't get a read on this guy.
Initially, right, the part where they were like, oh, now, like, it's been 2 years since our child passed away. And now I'm living with this woman and her child.
Yeah, they really set that up to be like he was in a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And then when they were like, when Alice was like, it's a sister, I was like, ugh. You can't do that. You can't do like a switcheroo of a romantic to sibling.
Yeah.
From the start, be a sibling. That did not give anyone any context. That did not add to the story.
It did not. It was so weird. And
We didn't need that twist. That twist that it was actually his sister.
yeah, because even in the beginning, he got the call. They were like, I don't want to wake her up and her child up.
Yeah.
and he's supporting this family financially. I thought it was like a woman and then his stepkid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, ugh, his sister?
Like just an unrequired twist.
Like what? Yeah. What was the reason? I don't
Just
know.
from the start, be like, he lives with his sister.
Yeah. And then they portrayed him to be like a bitter little man. He didn't like his job. He hated the fact that there was no crime here. He hated his subordinates. He hated
He had real problems with Priya.
He had so many problems with Priya.
I love a Priya. Give me a Priya. I want someone that's like gonna give me all the things that I want and need without having to ask for them.
Someone who does their job.
Someone that does their job would be lovely. But
what would you say?
Like gives him all the takes care of him, and is really good at her job.
Yeah.
What's your problem, Jack?
I don't know. And then because she kept calling him boss and sir.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not your boss. I think you might be.
You are a boss. Like, you just don't want someone calling you boss, or you don't see yourself as a boss. But I don't know. He was just so problematic. There was no logic or explanation for anything that he did. And then, but even Priya was slightly problematic, I found.
Yeah, I think she did want Jack. What was their relationship? Because he was the whole time, he's like, don't get it twisted, Priya.
Yeah.
I am not your boss, but I am your boss. And this is unprofessional. And then he kisses her. And then at the same time, she's gone from like, yes, sir, yes, boss. Come and hang out with me. Like, my top button's undone. And then she's like, ew, no.
It was a very confusing dynamic.
It was very confusing.
Maybe there's this other part, right? I found this fucking funny. Jack was like, I am Priya. I am significantly older than you. How old she was? Late 20s, early 30s.
She's in her 30s, he checked.
Yeah, she was in her 30s. And he was like, what?
37.
Like 37.
It was age appropriate.
When you say significantly older, I'm thinking Rachel and her 82-year-old husband.
3 years older than you, Priya. Get a grip.
When they said that, I found that so funny.
Oh my God. Yeah, but what is she thinking though? Is Jack a catch? Oh, I don't get it.
And then he was like, as a boy and a young man, women didn't find me attractive. But now, like, look at all these women that I'm sleeping with.
Anna, Rachel, Priya. He's fucking got it going on. He's a stud.
Serial monogamist, you guys.
He slammed a door in Priya's face, and I hate that. Like, honestly, like, broke her nose.
But all right, in that, I actually don't hate him for that because he didn't know who was there. He didn't know it was actually Priya.
But he didn't feel bad about it. He saw it and was like, oh, well, it's just Priya. She'll recover.
I don't see her that way. She's not attractive. Well, if she's giving me attention, might as well kiss her. And then nothing happened.
If she's going to cook some Nigella for me.
Even
you
Priya.
Comment here. Because you said, why do you have to be such a jerk to Priya? I would totally sleep with her.
Not me. That is not me. That was me trying to be in Jack's shoes. I would totally sleep with her. No, but I shouldn't. Was what I was supposed to say.
Thank goodness, I need to alert HR.
What?
Well, this is your opinion. This is how it should go. I would totally sleep with her if I was Jack. I thought that was what you were saying.
Oh, no, that's not what I was saying. I typed this up very quickly today, and I did not proofread what I was saying. Yeah.
So he and Anna were very obviously still into each other.
Yes. That was awful. Yeah, I think they genuinely loved each other. They just went through a really traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Neither one of them dealt with their trauma appropriately. And she was just like,
yeah,
let's get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, well, that's not really trying to save your marriage. But then at the same time, they were like, our marriage is done for anyways. So
Who knows? I don't know how you're doing that.
no.
But yeah, they very clearly still had some chemistry.
Mm,
They're very boring people though.
yeah. Like me. I'm quite boring.
Tequila and your Cheerios.
Yeah. Oh, I wish. I wish. But I'll get fired so quick if I did that.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah,
I'd be able to tell.
everybody would be able to tell.
All right, let's talk about Rachel.
Oh, this devil.
This is a devil girl.
It's a devil. You know what vibe I got from her? Remember Sharp Objects? The girl from the Sharp Objects who was responsible for all the killing.
It's the teeth in
The teeth in the thing.
Yep, I see it.
I got the same vibes as her. The
Like nasty, overly sexualized, all that jazz.
really pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that she can do any harm, but is actually the fucking devil in the girl's outfit. Yes.
So we hate her.
We
Pure evil.
despise this chick.
Gotta go.
Oh, this. And then, there was that scene with the teacher again.
Oh,
Unnecessary.
that was so gross. So there was this scene that Rachel and Anna were both getting told off by the teacher. Anna goes in first.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher is jerking off under the table.
Oh.
Disgusting. And then Rachel goes in, sorts it all out, asks for a mint. Gross. Was she 15?
Yeah.
Foul.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Foul on Rachel, foul on this guy.
Fuck me, man. And then she goes and punches Helen.
Yeah.
Helen did them dirty. What do you think was going to happen to you, Helen?
Those three girls, Rachel, the ringleader, pure evil. Helen, I don't know. Was she actually an addict?
That's what they sort of said.
Yeah, okay.
That she was constantly doing drugs.
Yeah, and she drugged the girls in the woods.
And yeah, she's the one who drugged them in the woods, yeah.
And then Zoe, who was Jack's sister, very weird.
Very fucking... This Zoe chick, she was kidnapping cats.
There were a lot of cats missing in Black Downtown.
Yeah. Say that 5 times.
Black Downtown? Black Downtown? Black Downtown.
You have to say it.
Black Downtown, Black Downtown, Black Downtown, Black Downtown.
Anyways.
Yeah, everyone's missing their cats in this town.
All the cats are going missing.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
Zoe's got a lovely fur coat on. She's like an honest Cruella de Vil.
She is. Oh. But she had parents, 2 parents. She had an older brother. Why the fuck did nobody realize in this family that these gazillion cats are in the shed?
I don't know.
Number one, that there are gazillion cats in the shed. They are constantly going meow meow.
Meow meow.
Yeah.
I don't think they were going meow meow. I think they were dead.
No, she let them all go.
Oh.
She let them all, like, she let most of them go because she
But
was...
not Anna.
No, Anna's one was alive.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just a random cat. What do you read?
Some of the detail.
It's been a hard few weeks, guys. It really has. Yeah, so there are multiple cats in there. They were purring away. And she was skinning cats, which meant that there was a smell, a certain odor that happens when there are cats or animals that are dead, right? What the fuck was the rest of the family doing when they were on
Their own business.
And Jack didn't know this?
I don't know.
And then also when they were like, oh, there were scratches in the shed. I thought these girls locked locked either Anna or Catherine in the shed. There was this whole
Cat scratches.
but it were cat scratches.
Classic Alice Feeney, where she does the pull your rug out and it's actually an animal. Remember the sheep or the ram?
Oh yeah.
Yes. She loves to make it look like there's someone there and then it's like actually an animal.
I'm over it. I don't want to read about this anymore.
We know your game, Alice Feeney.
Yeah. But no, it was insane. I thought Zoe was the maddest. And then she is
she's like, truly unhinged. Oh, they're all I don't know if
Rachel's the worst.
Yeah, Rachel and Zoe, they're unhinged.
Yeah, they're completely unhinged. And she was just like skinning cats, doing all these awful things, but she's like, you know what? Don't smoke in my house. That's where I draw the line.
Was she still skinning cats?
Once a skinner, always a skinner. I don't know. This lady was awful. It's not like Jack did anything. He was just in his, I'm so sad.
Yeah, he's in his sad phase.
Yeah.
Sad era.
And then we have
Anna's mum. You know Anna's mum.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that she was dead. I thought she was a dead lady sitting in a chair. She was cold, apparently.
And stank. And she's like, I know what death smells like.
Yeah. And then Anna like touched her arm and screamed.
Yeah.
But she was fine.
She was
like,
So the whole thing, she made her house awful, stopped showering, all of this just so she could get away with murder. That is commitment.
That's commitment.
That's commitment.
She was like walking around at night in the woods in her nightgown.
Yeah. And she's like, guys, look at me. I
have dementia. I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
She's just drunk.
That whole chapter, that build up, her going into the house and then Jack. And then her going to the kitchen and then Jack. Walking to the chair where her mum was there and then Jack. Those fucking like 10 chapters, unnecessary.
Mum was fine. She was just asleep and a bit chilly.
You could have just said, I went, the house was awful and mum was asleep.
Yeah.
I woke her up.
Suspense for the sake of suspense.
But why?
It needs to add to the story.
You could have done so much more rather than rushing the twist.
Don't give me a billion chapters on walking through a dirty old house with no payoff and then be like, oh, by the way, yeah, like I killed everyone.
Exactly. Like this.
Yeah, but why did you kill everyone? I don't know, just for some reason.
Yeah, because like they were like mean.
Okay, I get that.
Okay.
The one that I don't understand is Catherine. Just so that we get Catherine off the air.
That is, R.I.P. Book Catherine.
She deserved more. When you were reading it, did you think that Anna was the killer or the victim? Like a next victim?
I didn't think either. I thought Anna was going to survive.
Yeah.
Just because I know Alice Feeney's style of writing. Only like solely based on that. I thought Anna was going to survive. And I didn't think she was the killer either. Again, solely based on Alice Feeney's style of writing. I just thought that she had something, like I thought that she was related or somehow involved in that build-up.
Yeah.
But not actually either of them.
Did you think Jack was the killer at any point?
No.
Who did you think was the killer?
I thought it was the mum straight off the bat.
Well done.
I thought it was the mum.
I thought it was going to be Catherine.
I was hoping it was Catherine. But I did once because I wrote down mum first. And then I was like, maybe Catherine?
Yeah.
I
was the other way. I was like, mum is sus, but Catherine's going to take these kids out.
Because we didn't really know about Catherine, I've always thought the fifth girl, because they made it a point to mention in the photo there were 5 girls.
Yeah.
But we only had known about 4.
Yes.
So that I was like, okay, potentially the 5th. My first suspect was mum. Second suspect was Catherine. And then they made us want to think it was also Priya.
Yeah.
At some point. Because Priya was being all
suspicious. Being real suspicious.
Yeah, but she was being really suspicious.
She was just being a detective.
And very suspicious detective. Her boss didn't know what she was doing.
Well, she didn't trust her boss. She's been a great detective.
Well, that was only at the end, but when she was
She was actually just a weirdo.
she was so weird.
She disappeared for like an hour during dinner to get sauce.
Right? This is so funny. So she was like, Jack, do you want to come over for dinner? And he was like,
Should we role play?
sure. All right.
Okay, you be Priya.
Am I Priya? Why am I Priya?
Because you already started.
All right. Jack?
Yes, Priya.
Like, I don't know anybody here. So like, do you want to come over for like drinks?
No, it's not appropriate.
But like, it's just drinks, you know? I don't know anybody here and I'm like super lonely.
Fine, I will come.
Thank
I
you.
will let you feed me.
No problem. You know what? I already do feed you.
Yeah, this is our normal conversation.
And then like, do you want like burgers and like sweet potato fries?
Yeah, sounds great.
BRB.
1 hour later.
Yeah, 1 hour later.
1 hour later.
When? Okay, you asked me where I went.
Where have you been, girl? Wait, Jack wouldn't do that. Where have you been?
I'm crying because like I thought you wanted like tomato sauce. I know you douse your.
I love tomato sauce, so thank you.
You're welcome.
This is inappropriate. This can't go on anymore.
Let me just.
All right, we'll kiss for a bit.
All right. End scene.
End scene. They're both dumb.
Fucking Bria. She was so weird. Like, why was she investigating Anna's mum?
When he's like, this is real fancy, she goes, it's just a bit of Nigella. And he's like, oh, yeah, I love Nigella. She's like, oh, no.
Oh, and then when she went, sorry, we're back to that. Before we go
Back to the scene.
back to it. And then she disappeared and she's talking about tomato sauce. And he's like, what do you think I was going to cook you? Curry? And I was just like, so fucking racist.
Rude.
Yeah.
You have to cook me curry, right, though?
I have. Yeah, but I also have Japanese teriyaki chicken if you want.
Yum.
Yeah, either or, dealer's choice. That's not in the book. This is me
This is real.
feeding Felicity because the last time we were here, she went home for dinner but didn't get dinner. So I'm feeding her this time. Anyways, oh yeah. So then we find out, right, that Priya has been to Anna's mum's house multiple times to sort of investigate and find out a little bit more about the missing father.
He doesn't trust anyone.
I needed to know, instead of fucking like 60% of the book going back and forth and
Priya's perspective.
not really Priya's perspective, but whoever's perspective, but I just needed some more information. Number one, why are you looking at her mum? Number two, where do you get this information from? Number three, what was the fucking conclusion? And
Unless she was just like jealous of, well, not jealous, but like she wanted to understand the relationship with Jack because she actually did love Jack.
so she would go to Jack's mother-in-law's house?
Yeah, to try and get info on Anna.
Somebody that the entire community knew had dementia?
You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
Look, it's
Potentially.
not sound.
That is a commitment and a half.
Yeah.
If that was the case.
Very stalker. Very stalker.
I needed more in that regard.
Yeah.
Stop fucking telling me about everybody's psyche. Tell me more about what I want to know.
What I am confused about at the end was, first of all, was Anna involved? Because it seemed like she was involved with her mum's plan. But also, we do know that Anna has a history of just letting things happen to people around them. Especially Catherine.
Poor cat.
Like, did she just turn a blind eye? Was she involved, or did she just turn a blind eye to what her mum did?
I think she turned a blind eye to what her mum did. And I'm basing this solely on the scene where Catherine stabs Anna's mum, Mrs. Andrews, because she saw Mrs. Andrews kill Richard and take her kids. So she knew that she was behind that, right? So, and Anna heard that because the proximity was not far and this bitch was like running through the fucking woods with a strained ankle. So she heard that and she then realized it's my mum. But then she also realized that her mum has dementia and she wants to work on that relationship because her mum does not have very long to live. That was actually before that, but anyways. So she heard that and she was trying to protect her mum. That's where I think, because if not,
I feel like she just turned a blind eye as well. It didn't make sense to me that she seemed to genuinely not know that Kat and Catherine were the same person. So how could she be involved in this whole plot?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think she was involved at all. I just thought she then...
Yeah. She's like, don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
Let mama do it.
Yeah. Mama always takes care of me, but we had a strained relationship.
Yeah.
Because like my mum worked hard.
How dare she?
And
the last thing that confused me was like at the very end, and I don't know if I just misread this, so please tell me if I'm wrong. Pardon?
Potentially.
Very high chance that I just didn't read it properly. But I was listening to an audiobook, so surely someone's reading it properly. So there's the last chapter.
Yeah.
I think it was Anna's perspective, and she's talking to her like adoptive niece type thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And she has the friendship bracelet.
That is, no, it wasn't Anna's, was this Mrs. Andrews'
That's
perspective.
Mrs. Andrews. Okay, yeah. And so she puts it into the jewelry box and was like, this is for someone else when they come to visit.
Mm-hmm.
Who's it for? Who's she killing next? Priya?
Priya. Because because
she wants to tie up those loose ends.
Yeah. And Priya had visited her anyways. And she said to Anna, oh yeah, I can take care of myself, when she was having her tea with the honey.
Yes.
And she was like, I can take care of myself. So potentially if Priya keeps digging.
Because I was like, who's left?
Nobody. She's not going to kill
Anna.
Jack.
She's not going to kill Jack. She's not going to kill Anna.
And she's not going to kill Olivia.
Yeah.
Who is a child.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's only Priya that's left. Everyone else dead.
I don't like that. I don't like that for Priya.
No, but Priya should
But she wasn't part of the friendship bracelet gang.
Yeah. Well, neither was Catherine, really. She was there for like one day.
True. One sad day.
One sad day.
It was a rough day.
I did appreciate Anna trying to do the right thing, or trying to make Catherine feel included.
Yeah.
It's just that she did it with the wrong gang.
It was very bizarre to me how sexualized their relationship was, Rachel and Anna.
Yes, we haven't even spoken about that yet. So Anna...
Is this just like a control thing? Was it a control?
Potentially grooming, because that's what they said, right? Like Rachel was grooming her friends. So like, and then she would use that photos and then even blackmail them as well.
Yeah, she like took her clothes off in the toilet and then put her in a bra and then took photos of her.
Yeah. But then when they had their first sleepover, she like low-key abused Anna.
High-key
abused Anna. I don't know why I said low-key. That was sexual abuse.
It was.
And I was just like,
what is going on here?
I was just like, what am I reading?
What am I reading?
And then Anna was just like,
I could have done without the kid-on-kid
rape
sex stuff.
Yeah. And I was just like, what? Firstly, what am I reading? And secondly, this is making me physically ill. And thirdly, Anna, sweetheart, maybe say no.
Well,
I know she liked
there's the
control.
Well, it's like the the fight, flight, or freeze reaction.
But not really fight. On the first day,
I
yes.
actually have no idea if this was consensual or not. I feel like it was not consensual,
Yeah.
and I feel like she froze.
The first day, yes, I completely agree that she froze. Like the very first sleepover. But then when they went into the woods, it didn't really feel like
I'm so confused by it.
that just made me sick, feel sick. Because it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't, it was just not,
I hated it.
it didn't sound very consensual. If it was consensual, sure. Yeah, fine. But I didn't sound it. And we don't like Rachel. So, Rachel was trash.
All right. Have we discussed this book enough?
I think so.
Yeah, let's look at reviews. 4 stars. Fable and Goodreads, just over 4 stars. Did it deserve 4 stars?
I don't understand how it got such high ratings. I sort of looked at quite a few of the reviews and all of them said the same thing where it was such a page turner. There was twist after twist coming and every time you thought that it was going to be something else happened.
Oh, twist, it's his sister.
I'm staying with my
twist. He kissed Priya.
Yeah. And also like nobody talked about how Rachel was stealing from the fucking charity.
No, she's bad egg.
She's bad egg. But yeah, I don't understand why this book got such a high rating, and I don't think the twists were like page turners.
No.
They were like, oh, finally, at least a conclusion on this regard.
Yeah. This was a rough read for me. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right headspace for it.
I think you were.
Probably wasn't.
No.
There was just a lot of stuff that I just did not. I was just maybe not in the mood for. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was also twisty.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't gel with it that much.
Yeah. How many stars would you give this one?
This is like a 3 for me.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I gave it a 3 stars. I did not give it a 3-point-something star.
Oh, it didn't even. It was not even
3.
interesting enough for you to think about a point, whatever.
A point, nah. It
Just
was
a flat 3.
It was. I was thinking either 2.75 or 3, and I was like, you know what? It was just bleh. So it was just like flat.
Yeah.
3.
Not our favorite.
No. I just thought that this book was honestly such a drag. The first like 60% of a book, it was just Jack and Anna. Every single situation, a fucking monologue will go in their head.
We were just watching the BBC News broadcast.
Yeah. The descriptions were so long. The descriptions of their surroundings were so long. They had this like moral dilemma of everything that they did in their internal monologue. Like, not everything is a moral conversation. Just shut up.
Get on with it.
So I just found it really, really boring for the first 60%. And then it was like classic Alice Feeney, just summarized so quick.
Yeah, wrap it up. Just throw some bombs in there. Put something super ambiguous at the end and call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, flat 3. Very bleh.
All right, let's put it in our top 10 list. So we've got 7 in there at the moment. We need to slot this one in. To give you the list, number 1, The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. Number 2, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Alice Feeney. Number 3, Beautiful, Ugly, Alice Feeney. Number 4, The Wife Upstairs, Rachel Hawkins. Number 5, A Flicker in the Dark, Stacey Willingham. Number 6, Keep It in the Family, John Mars. And number 7, Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Where are you going to put this one, Ravi?
If you ask me, it's a number 6 book.
After A Flicker in the Dark?
After A Flicker in the Dark.
I agree.
It's yeah. Yeah, you agree?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. I will I'll update our list and post it.
Great. Yeah.
Number
it
6.
was. Yeah. They're not really deserving of anything else.
Did you read any extracurricular books this month?
You know what? This month has felt really long for some reason. We did Housemate 2. That was our previous extra credits episode.
Yeah, check out that episode, Housemate 2.
Yeah. And I finally finished See You Next Fall.
Well done.
Along with this book. It wasn't as spicy See You Next Fall as I wanted it to be. There were like a few spicy scenes, but I wanted more.
Okay.
I wanted more. Yeah. What did you read?
The only book that I finished was Housemaid 2, and then I am partway through 2 books. Now, I'm partway through What Lies Between Us by John Mars, but I was also partway through it in our last book club episode. So this one has been a slow, long drag for me. I'm finding it really hard to get through.
Are you reading this one or are you hearing
this? No, I'm listening to this one. And I think I'm just not a John Mars fan. And I'm not an audiobooks fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will do it.
But yeah, his books, I think he's a talented author. I just don't vibe with his books. His characters are mean. They seem to be unnecessarily mean.
Yeah.
And then I'm also partway through the latest in the Boys of Tommen series.
I'm surprised you haven't finished that.
Yeah, me too. You girls been tired this month.
Yeah.
I've ticked nothing off my bingo card.
I thought one of our bingo cards was going to be a season-based one. And I was so excited.
Oh, we've got a holiday.
We've got a holiday.
But not a season.
But yeah. But this all happened in a holiday. So can I take it off?
Sure.
So they went away, like the fall was each holiday that they have.
Tick it off.
Oh, yeah. Score. Okay.
Should we do our next book?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we've got 3 books. For those that don't know the process, we have 3 books that we all vote on Instagram. And then it's by majority rules. What are you looking at me like that for?
Who won? I don't even know.
I know.
Oh, okay.
It's giving it a surprise from you.
Okay.
I'm going to post a picture of that face.
It's like my nephew's face, and the one I sent you. Such a cutie.
So the first book was The Tenant by Frida McFadden. It is about Blake Porter. Blake Porter is riding high until he's not. He is fired abruptly from his job as a VP of marketing, and he's unable to make the mortgage repayments on a new brownstone he shares with his fiancée. And he's desperate to make ends meet. Enter Whitney. She is a charming, always thin, down to earth, and looking for a room to rent. And she's exactly what Blake's looking for. Or is she? Because something isn't quite right. The neighbors have started treating Blake differently. Danger lives right at home, and by the time Blake realizes it, it may be too late.
So this book is relatively new.
Yeah, it's the latest Frida, right?
Yeah, and it's already being turned into, was it a movie or a series?
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's already being turned into that. So quite exciting, this one.
Wow.
All right, do you want me to read the next one?
Sure.
That's Not My Name by Megan Lally? That's not my name. Shivering and bruised, a teen wakes up on the side of a dirt road with no memory of how she got there or who she is. A passing officer takes her to the police station, and not long after, a frantic man arrives. He's been searching for her for hours. He has her school ID, her birth certificate, and even family photos. He is her father. Her name is Mary, or so he says.
And the last book is Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. Shelley Thibault is the first to go missing. Not long after, Meredith Dickey and her 6-year-old daughter Delilah vanished just blocks away from where Shelby was last seen, striking fear into the once peaceful community. Are these incidents connected? After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now, 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one is prepared for what they'll find. And the winner is Lieutenant by Frida McFadden. Ravi's so excited. That was her pick.
That was my pick. Woo!
And the next book club will be dropping on the 8th of August. So please read with us, chat with us about the book, and follow us on Instagram at Grim Tonic Book Club.
Yeah, that's it from us. Thank you so much for listening to us. We really genuinely appreciate it. Tell everyone, tell your friends, just so
And
we
read with
can
us.
do more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.